There are whispers turning into shouts inside the building today, and what I am hearing from my sources suggests a foundational shift is coming to the Big Easy. We are talking about a move that would have seemed impossible just 2 years ago, involving a player who has defined this offense for an entire era. The front office is weighing a decision that balances loyalty against the cold reality of the salary cap and a youth movement that is already underway. You need to hear the details of this developing situation. Please subscribe and like for more exclusive Saints updates. Alvin Kamara is currently the subject of serious trade discussions between the New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos as the organization prepares for a future without their legendary playmaker. This isn't just a simple rumor. The framework of a deal is being explored that would send the 5-time Pro Bowler to the Mile High City. The reality in New Orleans has shifted dramatically following the signing of Travis Etienne, who the coaching staff views as the new engine of this rushing attack. At 31 years old, Kamara is coming off his most difficult statistical season, plagued by significant knee and ankle injuries that have clearly sapped some of that elite burst we grew accustomed to seeing at the Superdome. In the past, Kamara has been hesitant to waive any clauses or entertain a departure from the city he loves, but the landscape has changed. My sources indicate that the lure of joining the Broncos isn't just about a change of scenery, but about who is holding the clipboard on the other sideline. The Saints are looking at a roster that needs to get younger and cheaper, and Kamara's current contract is a significant hurdle they are desperate to clear to find some breathing room. While his market value has dipped to the point where we are likely looking at late-round compensation, perhaps even as low as a 7th-round pick, the move is less about the return and more about the transition. The front office believes the time is right to hand the keys to Etienne and allow the offense to evolve under a different philosophy. However, for a deal of this magnitude to actually cross the finish line, one specific person in Denver has to be the driving force behind the recruitment, and he is a face that every Saints fan knows by heart. The history between these two individuals is the only reason this trade has gained this much internal traction over the last 48 hours. If this reunion happens, it won't just change the Saints' depth chart. It will signal the definitive end of an era in New Orleans football history. But why would the Broncos want a veteran with declining stats? The answer lies in a relationship that produced some of the most prolific offensive seasons in NFL history. This is a massive turning point for our franchise. Do you think moving on from a legend like this is the right call for the future? Drop a comment below and let us know if you support this rebuild. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest insider reports. Sean Payton is the catalyst for this entire transaction, and the primary reason why Kamara would even consider leaving the Saints at this stage of his career. Payton knows exactly how to utilize Kamara's unique skill set, having designed the very plays that made him a superstar in the first place. In Denver, Payton is looking for reliable veterans who can implement his system quickly, and there is nobody who understands his offensive language better than Kamara. Even in a reduced role, Payton sees Kamara as a vital third-down weapon and a veteran presence in a locker room that is still learning how to win under his leadership. The internal communication from Denver suggests they aren't looking for the Kamara of 2017, but rather a high IQ player who can provide a security blanket for their quarterback. For the Saints, the departure of Payton to Denver always left a lingering connection, and now it seems that connection is being used to facilitate a roster purge. The front office in New Orleans is trying to be respectful of Kamara's legacy, but they are also being pragmatic about the salary cap disaster that looms every year. By sending him to a mentor like Payton, they feel they are doing right by the player while also achieving their goal of clearing space for younger talent. It is a complicated dance involving draft picks, contract restructures, and the emotional weight of trading a franchise icon. My sources tell me that Payton has been looking for a versatile backfield piece since he arrived in Denver, and once the Saints made it clear that Etienne was their featured guy, the phone started ringing. This isn't about Kamara being unable to play anymore. It is about his fit in a system that is moving in a different direction. In Denver, he would be reunited with the man who helped him build a Hall of Fame resume. This move allows New Orleans to fully commit to the Etienne era without the shadow of a legend looming in the rotation. It also gives Payton a familiar tool to help fix a Broncos offense that has struggled for consistency. The logistics are being finalized, but the intent from both sides is clear. They want to make this work for everyone involved. The question remains how the fans will react to seeing their hero in orange and blue after all these years. The impact of this move on the New Orleans Saints locker room cannot be overstated. When you move a player with the stature of Alvin Kamara, you are changing the very soul of the team. Head coach Dennis Allen and the front office are clearly signaling that the time for sentimentality is over. They have seen the decline in performance and the mounting injuries, and they have decided to prioritize the long-term health of the franchise over short-term nostalgia. Signing Travis Etienne was the first domino to fall, and it sent a loud message that the backfield was being overhauled. Etienne brings a different dynamic, younger legs, a lower price tag, and a physical style that the coaching staff wants to build around. This transition allows the Saints to finally start shedding the massive contracts that have kept them in salary cap purgatory for years. By moving Kamara, they gain flexibility to address other glaring needs on the roster, specifically in the trenches and the secondary. Looking forward, this move indicates that the Saints are entering a true reconstruction phase, even if they won't use that specific word publicly. They are building a team that is younger, faster, and more sustainable. If Etienne proves to be the workhorse they expect, the sting of losing Kamara will fade, but the pressure on the front office will be immense if the running game regresses. We are looking at a team that is finally willing to make the hard choices necessary to compete in a changing NFL. The decision to move on from a veteran coming off a down year is a classic move from the playbook of successful franchises, but it carries high risk. If Kamara thrives in Denver under Sean Payton, it will raise questions about whether the Saints' offensive struggles were a personnel issue or a coaching problem. For now, the focus is on the future and ensuring that the transition to the next generation of Saints stars is as seamless as possible. The fans should prepare for a different-looking offense, one that relies on Etienne's explosive playmaking ability and a more balanced approach. The era of Kamara was legendary, but the era of Etienne is officially beginning, and the front office is betting the future of the franchise on this massive gamble. Ultimately, this potential trade represents the closing of one chapter and the uncertain beginning of another for the New Orleans Saints. It is a reminder that in the NFL, the only constant is change, and even the most beloved figures eventually move on. Seeing Alvin Kamara in a different uniform will be a culture shock for this city, but it serves as a necessary step if the Saints are ever going to find their way back to Super Bowl contention. This is about more than just one player or one draft pick. It is about a franchise finally finding the courage to look itself in the mirror and admit that the old way isn't working anymore. The reunion between Kamara and Sean Payton is a poetic end to his story in New Orleans, giving him a chance to finish his career with the coach who understands him best. For the Saints, it is a clean slate and a chance to build something new around Travis Etienne. We will always remember the highlights, the touchdowns, and the unique style that Kamara brought to the field, but the focus must now shift to what lies ahead. This move clears the path for a new identity to emerge in New Orleans, one that isn't tied to the successes of the past but is focused on the challenges of the future. The front office is taking a stand, and the results will define the legacy of this current regime. As we watch this situation unfold, we have to ask ourselves if we are ready for the new-look Saints. It is going to be a wild ride as we see how this roster continues to evolve throughout the offseason. What do you think about the direction the team is taking? Is it time to say goodbye to the legends of the past to make room for the stars of tomorrow? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on this developing story and all things Saints football. Your support helps us keep bringing you the inside scoop from within the building. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one as we continue to track this historic roster shakeup. The Big Easy is changing, and we are here for every second of it.